Hello and welcome. You're watching Business Today Television. I'm Sakshi Batra, with me Shel Bhatnagar, and this is Market Today, a show where we'll help you understand the closing action on the day street. Well, the markets have come off the day's high point and now are trading at 24,950 or thereabouts. Of course, we were trading over 100 points higher in trade, above that milestone 25,000 that we climbed up for the first time in trade today. But now you see more and more sectors seeing some profits being taken off at the high levels. Even the Nifty Bank is now 1/10% lower at 51,488 odd levels, barring the Pharma and the FMCG pack. Rest all of the sectors have actually slipped into the red right now. It's the realty space that is losing the most, about 2% down in trade. Media stocks and also the broader markets are seeing a lot of cut at this point in time, a 1.3% downtake for both the mid and the small cap 100 indices. You also have the PSU banks and the autos now that have slipped into the lower trajectory as of now. What's still holding up? Power stocks. Power Grid is 3.5% higher as the top mover in trade today. Coal India follows. We also have stocks like Dr. Reddy's, Tata Consumer Products, Apollo Hospitals and Shriram Finance as among the top movers on the Nifty. On the downside, you have M&M, Hero Moto, Tata Steel, BPCL and Tata Motors as among those stocks that are in the lower trend as far as the Nifty is concerned. Even within the F&O pack, you have Power Grid, ICICI Lombard General Insurance, TVS Motor, Coal India, Adani Enterprises as some of the stocks that are still buzzing in trade. Good afternoon, Shel.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. It's the weekly expiry of the Nifty panning out as it should. We had an early morning gush of liquidity and therefore you saw 25,000 on the board. Immediately it was met with selling pressure in the first 10 odd minutes of trade, and from a high of about 25,077, we are now at the day's low, which is 24,964. Absolutely a 100-point trading range. This is absolutely nothing that the Nifty is doing. This is also yesterday's closing low. Therefore, you are just flat 12 points higher. What's buzzing? Stocks like Tata Power, stocks like Coal India, stocks like NTPC, and of course Adani Energy Solutions. The company raised a 6,000 crore rupee QIP, which has been oversubscribed 5 times. Therefore, you see this very heavy momentum coming into this counter. 3,100 crores worth of transactions have been done, and the counter is up almost 9%. This is roughly 7.8 times the 5-day average of what you see of 50 lakh shares. So far, about 2.5 crore shares have been traded. You have just one last hour left. So these are interesting times as far as prices are concerned. In terms of record highs, you have Philips Carbon Black trading 5.5% higher. First Source Solutions 8% higher to a fresh record peak. Coal India, like I had mentioned, post earnings 3% higher at 537. NTPC 1.35% higher, 421. And of course, who can forget the stunning numbers from Maruti, 13,292 intraday high, which was much higher. And of course, LIC of India, Zomato. These are names that are doing extremely well on the charts. We now have Mr. Kunal V. Parar, Vice President, Technical Research at Choice Equity Broking with us. Good afternoon to you, Kunal. A lovely day to have you. 25,000 on the Nifty. Weekly expiry is going on. What do the charts foretell for the next week as far as Nifty is concerned?
Good afternoon, Selji. Overall, if we talk about Nifty today made its all-time high at 25,780 level and trading at 24,962. No doubt it's a weekly expiry, but we are not seeing any volatility, as per the expiry days. So overall range is very small, but yes, we can say that large cap counters, are taking their steps towards, northward momentum. So if we talk about next week's momentum, then I can say we can see good upside momentum during next week up to the level of 24,400, 25,500. So my view for Nifty is on upside only up to the level of 25,400, 25,500. And if we talk about Bank Nifty, then Bank Nifty as well, the way it has been trading since last few days, no doubt it has been trading in a range bound momentum only, but I can say we may see some good upside momentum in Bank Nifty itself up to the level of 52,350 to 52,500. So if you have position in this index, then please hold this. We can see very good upside momentum in upcoming trading session.
Very good afternoon to you, Kunal. Good to have you with us. Do tell us, when it comes to the power space stocks which are in the thickest of action, where are you keeping your focus and where do you think the strength will continue and one can continue to take fresh trades even now? So we've seen stocks like Coal India, Power Grid, NTPC all in the thickest of the action. But where are you looking for further momentum?
Well, one stock is there. Since morning, I have been keeping watch on this stock. It's a Power Grid. Right now, it is trading at 360. Stock has given a breakout of its 350 level, and stock has been trading above this level since morning with above average volume. So we can say that our traders might get good return from this particular stock. One can get into the stock at 360 level. If you talk about downside, then strong support comes at 342. No doubt, SL is little bit big, but the way stock has been trading, volatility will get higher. So 360 one can get at present level with the strict SL of 342. Now, if we talk about target wise, then first target we can see the counter up to the level of 372, and if counter breaks these 372, then 400 plus we can see in the counter. So Power Grid looks very good amongst other power sectors.
Okay. Hikal Pharma has come out with numbers. There's a 4% downtick on the stock right now. This is despite the revenue inching higher by about 4.8% at 406.8 crores. This is on a year-on-year basis. It's because I think the net profit that's declined by 26% at 5.1 crores for Hikal Limited at this point in time. EBITDA, even though has improved by 15% at 58 crore rupees for the company, 4.3% downtick right now. Margins, however, have come in higher from 13% last year same quarter to 14.3% right now. So that's the numbers that have just come in right now. Hikal, do you track the stock at all, Kunal?
Yes, exactly. And disclosure, I have the stock in my portfolio for long-term perspective. Right now, stock is trading at 344, and since last 1 month, it has been trading in a range-bound momentum only. If we talk about downside level, then downside support comes at 320, and upside it has a strong resistance at 370. So 50 points of momentum is there in which stock has been trading, since last 1 month. So let's break this range. Let's wait for the timing. If stock breaks this range on upper side, 370, 373, then we can say 400, 425 would be there in upcoming trading session. So if you want to create a position in this stock, then please wait. If stock breaks this 370, then we can say very good promising momentum in the counter.
Right. We'll just mark the Nifty at this point of time. 24,978, absolutely flat, 29 points higher. Maybe in the last 20 plus 30, 50 minutes of trade, you will see this very sharp fluctuation in option prices. I am requesting the PCR to keep 25,000 Nifty call ready for the expiry of next week, which will be just a moment, 8th of August. Let me just check what the price is for this option trade. I'm talking about 25,000 Nifty option call expiring on 8th of August. This is priced somewhere like 146 rupees. Let's see whether the PCR has got this right. Absolutely. Just keep an eye out on this one. Let's see how it goes. It's already moved 3 rupees. I think you just might see a very sharp spurt in this one over the next 10-15 minutes. What else is buzzing at the moment? So actually, there's really nothing to point out. If you look at gainers, I think we need to mention a couple of stocks in the F&O space. Tata Consumer, almost 2% higher, 1215. Tata Power, let's discuss this one. This is from the Tata stable, as also a power sector stock which is doing phenomenally well. Kunalji, would you have a view on Tata Power, sir?
Well, sir, yes, obviously, the way stock has been trading recently means during yesterday's trading session, we saw some breakout in the counters of a symmetrical triangle formation. Right now, stock has been trading above its upper band of triangle formation with above average volume. So, yes, some good momentum would be there in upcoming trading session. Right now, stock is trading at 462. One can get into the stock at 462. If we talk about SL side, then downside strong support comes at 448. So with SL of 448, one can get into the stock at 462. If you talk about target wise, the first target would be at 473 and the second target would be at 490. Now, if stock gives a breakout of this 490, our second target, and sustain above it at least for 2 to 3 days, then we can see very good upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 540 to 550 as well.
Right. Let's draw your attention to the entire auto space. Kunal, we've been seeing, the sales figures keep coming in, but a lot of these stocks are actually dragging today, be it Tata Motors, be it M&M, all of these are down in trade. TVS Motors, however, is bucking the trend. You can actually see it one of the top movers within the F&O space. Maruti Suzuki, of course, hit a record high today on the back of both strong earnings as well as the sales that were coming in. So mixed trends there. How are you spotting the key stocks that you should look at now?
Well, if you talk about the auto sectors and auto stocks in today's trading session, there are some TVS, Maruti, Bajaj Auto are buzzing since morning. But if you talk about M&M, TVS Motors, they are trading at lower level. But overall, if you keep an eye on M&M, M&M looks very attractive to me right now. M&M is trading somewhere around 2829 with 2% downside momentum, downside tick, but nothing to worry about this stock. One can get into the stock at M&M at present level because if you see its daily chart, stock has a strong support somewhere around 2700, and even before it took the support of 2700 and it went up to the level of 300 as well. So yes, one can get into the stock at present level with the strict SL of 2700. If we talk about upper side level, then first target would be at 3000 and stock gives breakout of 3000, then 3200 would be there, which we can see in upcoming trading session.
Okay, Bombay Dyeing has also come out with the numbers. You can actually see the company has reported profits in Q1, 15.4 odd crores versus the loss that was recorded in the same quarter last year, about 119.8 odd crores. Although the revenue is still lower by about 9.4%, it's come in at 451 odd crore rupees versus 498 odd crore rupees. The stock did show that spike is now coming off lower, 2% lower in trade right now. Your sense on Bombay Dyeing, Kunal, how would you view amidst the earnings?
Well, if we talk about this stock, then since last 4 to 5 years, stock has been trading in a range bound momentum only. Right now, stock is trading at 228. And if we talk about that particular range, then stock has a strong support downside at 224, and upper side it has a strong resistance somewhere around 240. So timing, I would say wait for the timing. If stock gives breakout of 241, then only one should get into the stock. Afterwards, we can see very good upside momentum up to the level of 252, 258 in the counters. So timing, one should avoid the stock for taking an entry.
Okay, let me just do some stock spotting for you. We'll remain concentrated on the power space. Look at CESE. This is from the eastern space of the country, which is this was earlier known as Calcutta Electricity State Authority. So far, 5.1% higher, 181. Very strong volumes coming on this one. Apart from that, you need to look at IIFL. This is also buzzing in trade. Let's look at the small cap index for a change and tell you the kind of volume buzzers that are going. Normally we look at only frontline counters, but let's look at a different market. First Source Solutions FSL is 8.9% higher at about 298 rupees, and the volumes are 11 times its 5-day average. We'll get Kunal to respond to First Source Solutions. Kunal, what are the charts of FSL telling you?
Well, Selji, if we talk about this stock looks very good on a weekly chart. Stock has given a breakout of its top and handle formation, and it has been trading in an uncharted territory with above average volume. So we can say rhythm is positive on this stock, but I'm not suggesting this stock for fresh recommendation, fresh entry, because risk reward is not that much of favorable for fresh entry. But yes, if you have this stock in your portfolio, then hold the stock. The way stock has been trading on a monthly and weekly chart, we can see further spurt from the present level up to the level of 330, 340. And if stock gives a breakout of this 340, then 420 would be there in the counter. So no fresh recommendation from my side, but if you have this stock in your portfolio, then please hold the stock.
Okay. And would you want to comment on Angel One? This is a very, very sharp correction that has happened from about 3,500 levels to 21, almost sub 1,900 rupee levels a few days ago. But post earnings, the counter is up 3% at 22.33. What are the medium term charts of Angel One telling you?
Well, Senji, if we talk about this stock, then the stock has a strong support of 2000 level. Particularly if we talk about this 2000, then in April 2022, it made a high of 2022, and afterwards it fell up to the level of 1990. So now that resistance has become strong support for this counter. So medium term chart looks very good. Even on weekly chart, stock has formed inverted hammer, which is a bullish reversal formation. So from my side, it's a buy recommendation. One can get into the stock at 2232. SL would be at lower level, 2000 level. Now, if we talk about target size, then the way stock has been trading, we can see very good upside momentum the counter up to the level of 2400. And if stock gives a breakout of this 2400, when 2700 would be there. It means we can say 19 to 20% momentum that we can see in this Angel One from the present level. So yes, it's a buy recommendation from my side with strict SL of 2000.
Got it. Let's bring our attention to the FMCG space also, Kunal. We've seen a slew of numbers also coming in. Dabur reported its numbers. Net profit was up 8%. Revenues was up 7%. Margins came in at just slightly higher than last year to 19.6% versus 19.3%. Stock is up over 1.2% higher in trade. And of course, there are some more stocks that are in the green right now. Tata Consumer, Godrej Consumer, Nestle, HUL. These are the stocks that are buzzing in trade. What takes your attention within the FMCG pack?
Well, if you talk about these stocks like Marico, Dabur, HUL, and other stocks, these stocks, have been trading in a range bound momentum only. Means I'm not seeing any promising momentum from the present level in this counter, because strong resistance that these stocks have been facing since long. So rather to go with this stocks, one stock is there in FMCG. It's a Patanjali right now. It is trading at 1730 with upside momentum of 0.50%. And the way stock has been trading, I'm seeing a very good upside momentum in the counter from the present level. One can get into the stock at present level. And if we talk about SL side and downside, the strong support comes at 1660. Now, if we talk about target side, the first target comes at 1800. And if stock gives a breakout of this 1800, then 1960 would be there in this counter. So among this FMCG, I think Patanjali can do some miracles.
Okay. Got it. Infrastructure space is seeing some action pick up. Oil and gas space, FMCG, some financial services names as well taking higher. Let's get you to talk about Shriram Finance. 2% higher. The stock is moving up right now, Kunal. And this was one stock that was rallying one way when it was announced that it's getting an inclusion into the Nifty. It lied low for a bit and again is showing some momentum. Do you think there is enough strength?
Well, right now, stock is trading at 3000 level and it has a strong resistance of 3045. So, I would say wait for the timing. If stock gives a breakout of this 3045, then we can see very good upside momentum in the counter. And afterwards, we can say somewhere around 3200 to 3300 level of target. So, not at present level, but if stock gives a breakout of the 3045, then only it would become a good buying opportunity.
Fair point. 252, ladies and gentlemen. We'll have shortly for you Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay and Mr. Amit Goyal joining us on the fundamental part of the market. Let's at the moment look at the extreme enthusiasm that's happening on the Adani group of shares. Very strong momentum since morning after Adani Energy Solutions sort of began this upward climb, which itself is up about 11.8%. Remember, it's coming out of a very, very long congestion zone, and the subscription of the oversubscription of 5 times on its 6,000 rupee QIP has added to its momentum. You have post earnings Adani Ports doing excellently well, 1.5% higher. Profit has doubled for the first quarter here, about 3,113 crores. You have Adani Wilmar 1% higher, Adani Enterprises 2% higher, 3234. Kunal, before we let you go, any favorites that you would have amongst the Adani Group stocks?
Well, so one stock is there, and it's Adani Port. Since long, I have been tracking these stocks, and it's a Nifty 50 stocks, and the way stock has been trading, we can see further upside momentum in this Adani Port. Right now, Adani is trading at 1600 level, 1592 level. One can get into the stock at present level. If you talk about SL side and downside, strict SL, strong support comes at 1530 level. So with 1530 level, one can get into the stock. If you talk about target size, then first target comes at 1640, and if stock gives a breakout of this 1640, we can see further upside momentum in the counter up to the level of 1720. So amongst Adani, I think this Adani Port can do some better.
Okay, got that. Let's get you to talk on the entire insurance pack now, Kunal. How are you looking at the fresh move within LIC, ICICI Lombard, SBI Life? Are these the stocks that are coming on your radar as well?
Well, yes, these are the stocks in which we saw some stream in last to last trading session. But right now, the way stock has been trading, I would say wait for the time being. We can see some correction in the counters, from the present level. So rather to go at for long position at the present level, I think one should wait for some correction up to the level of 3 to 4% from the present level.
Okay, got it. Let's get in you to talk about the pharma space now. Sun Pharma ahead of earnings is passing, Dr. Reddy's is passing, Apollo Hospitals is passing in trade. What looks good within the pharma pack now?
Well, if you talk about overall pharma, then one stock is there which looks very good to me, and it's Cipla. No doubt, result is there in Sun Pharma, but in today's trading session, we are seeing some corrective mode in the Sun Pharma. But Cipla looks very good. No doubt, it has been trading in a range-bound momentum, but it has a strong support of its 50 MA, and recently stock took the support of the same. So we can say that bounce back would be there in the counter from the present level. Right now, stock is trading at 1546 level. One can get into the stock at 1546. Downside, strong support comes at 1520. And if you talk about target size, then first target comes at 1570. And if stock gives a breakout of this 1570, then we can see 1600 would be there during upcoming trading session. So amongst other, I think Cipla can do something better than the other counters.
Right. Kunal, thank you so much for your time. As far as views are concerned in the markets, we look forward to having you again. I just wanted to check at 25,000 Nifty, what are the targets that you are seeing for the index, say, in this quarter?
Well, overall sales now volatility has been settled down after this budget, and the way other large cap stocks are trading, I think in this quarter we can see somewhere around 25,800, and Nifty can easily achieve this target because if you see all the large cap counters, these counters are trading with a strong support, good supports. So I can say 25,800 would be there in this quarter, we can say.
Okay, got it.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, that's the number that he's betting on. For a reason that Sakshi, somewhere very close in September, we'll see possibly a rate cut in our markets, because the US Federal Reserve will also start its interest rate cutting cycle, and probably that's the reason why you see this sharp anticipation that is being built up into the market. Adani Enterprises that you mentioned, profit doubles to 14.55 crore rupees for the past quarter, and sales is 12.5% higher, 25,475. Sakshi.
Yes, absolutely. The stock is up 2.5% right there. Strong move, and even the EBITDA figures are very strong. I think EBITDA is up by 47% at 3,705 odd crore rupees. This is versus 2,525 crore rupees earlier. Margins have improved a bit as well. In fact, from last year's 11.1%, the margins are up at 14.6 odd percent right here. So strong set of numbers coming in all across the board. There is an improvement. Let's get in Kunal to share with us Adani Enterprises. Would you look at the stock post the earnings now, Kunal? Okay, I guess, do we have? I think Kunal's left, but we do have another guest now joining in, and very special one at that. Mr. Sudeep Bandyopadhyay, the Group Chairman of Indie Trade Capital, is now joining in. Warm welcome to you, sir, and thank you so much for taking the time out. Again, you join us on a historic day. We've actually seen that 25,000 mark on the Nifty today. I want to understand from you now, because you know you're someone who've been seeing milestones after milestones on the Nifty. We were just going through the timeline early in the morning to see, you know, when were the 10,000, 15,000, etc. But you would have seen Nifty like far below before that as well. You know, when it comes to the key, events that we look at, budgets, elections, now even US elections, the Fed rate hikes, we keep on giving so much importance to all of it. But I want to help all our first time viewers really understand that, you know, larger picture on the Nifty beyond all these events. Where do you see the Nifty headed, sir?
Well, I think one has to remember what is happening, what is underlying and the undercurrent rather for this fantastic movement of the index. I think it is one single factor, which is liquidity, liquidity and liquidity. I think this is what is propelling Indian markets to newer heights regularly, I would say. Look at what is happening over the last 6-8 months. There is enormous amount of domestic liquidity which is chasing the market, and that's pushing the index up. You know, the FIIs, if you look at from January till about June end, I mean, July numbers I haven't yet seen fully. I think it was almost neutral. FIIs haven't really put any incremental money to work. So the entire rally was on the back of domestic money coming in. And we know that SIP about 22,000 per month, significant amount of direct equity investments through PMS and multiple other vehicles. So domestic money has been pushing the market, but at some point of time, and I'm pretty confident sooner than later, I think we will see a lot of foreign money also coming into the market. It has to come. It's a matter of time, and that will take the market to newer heights. So while we may sound a little too optimistic, but 50,000 may not be too far. Maybe 3 years, maybe 2.5 years, we will see newer and newer levels in Nifty. Of course, there are certain factors which we'll have to continue to maintain. A, good corporate performance. B, the macro for the country should be decent. We are in that path. Fiscal consolidation is happening rapidly. So I'm reasonably confident on India and Indian capital markets.
Right. Namaste Sudeepji, a very warm welcome to you, and equal congratulations for 25,000 from our side to all the investors and traders who are a part of the Indie Trade family. I'm sure all of them are very happy with the sage and practical advice that you hand out to them in terms of making long-term capital gains. Sir, at 25,000, as far as the Nifty is concerned, where does one put in money? Where do you see value or relative value in the market at current levels, sir?
Chairji, good afternoon. Thank you, and congratulations to all of you too. You guys also do a commendable role of bringing the market to the audience and making them aware of what's happening in the market, and that instigates them to come and participate in the market, and that's a fantastic thing to have happened. I think business media has done a commendable job too. Otherwise, this kind of domestic inflows wouldn't have been there in the market. Coming to the practical question, which I think is everybody's mind, that yes, it's 25,000. Should we invest? Is it the point of time where we should invest or we should run away? Take money out of the market. I completely agree and subscribe to the view that you should remain invested in the market. There's absolutely no need to book profit and run away from the market. This market will give significant returns from here on as well. Of course, you have to be a little careful in selecting stocks and sectors. And that's what we always keep saying, and we have been saying it for quite some time. And if you see the rally, you will see that a lot of pockets have been left behind. Certain sectors have given fantastic returns. Now at 25,000, or at this present moment when we are talking, a couple of sectors I'd like to highlight which we are positive on. One is power. I think power and power related stocks. Yeah, we have seen fantastic rally. And they have given great returns to its investors. But we believe that there is still a long way to go. So, the top power sector company, NTPC, I think it has got still a lot of legs to move ahead. Of course, you have to give some more time. It's not that overnight you'll get a fabulous return, but you buy and remain invested for a year plus, and you will make money. Pretty much all the power ancillaries, other power companies, power financiers, I think the entire sector is witnessing a massive upturn. So one should participate and remain invested in this journey. The other space which I think we did see a lot of challenges and a lot of correction over the last many months has been FMCG. I think there were challenges on rural demand that led to softening of the sector overall. But I think things are turning around. Rural demand is back. We have seen some of the results. Colgate we saw, Dabur we just saw. I think everywhere message is clear. Rural demand is coming back, and that is definitely good news for these FMCG companies. And one should definitely look at FMCG for a long-term investment. Look, India is a country with 140 billion people, and consumption is definitely going to be there. And FMCG is the best bet. You can't go much wrong in FMCG if you are invested for some time there. The last sector I'll mention is again a beaten down sector. It has moved up recent past, which is chemicals, specialty chemicals. We believe that we have seen probably the worst of this sector already in terms of performance, in terms of challenges. The menace of Chinese dumping to a great extent is over. Chinese stocks have been liquidated, and local demand in China is also going up. China plus one story, which led to original flourish in these stocks. The story is intact, and that is playing out itself. So, under the circumstances, a long-term investor investing in this sector, these companies will do definitely well.
Right, so those are the key themes that one has to keep an eye out on. Mr. Bandyopadhyay, also help us understand when it comes to the flows. You talked about liquidity right at the start of the conversation. I want to understand when it comes to foreign flows, they are still missing despite this upward and onward rally consistently that we have seen in the Indian markets. What is keeping them away from the Indian markets, and does it matter to us?
Well, obviously, it doesn't matter to us at this stage, at least, because markets have been rallying in spite of that. But the fact is, in the long run, it does matter. We definitely need foreign inflows as well to take the market to the next level. And at some point of time, that will be missed. But the reality why the inflow is not coming is a lot of tactical move by fund managers. India, was relatively fully priced. And there were a lot of pockets of undervaluation in other emerging markets of Asia, including China. So people were, fund managers were investing, taking tactical position in China and moving money to China. And that was leading to a lot of, underinvestment into India by foreign fund managers. Now, there are a lot of categories of funds and long-term structural funds. They have been investing, but the tactical funds or short-term funds or funds which are very nimble, they have been moving money out of India and into these markets where the valuation was looking attractive. Now that has to an extent, we believe, played out, and at some point in time, I think India will become once again, I would say the flavor of the day. It won't be a wholesale buying or things like that, but selective buying in Indian stocks will definitely be witnessed in the near future by foreign investors.
Right. Sudeep ji, we are very happy to let our foreign friends also join the party. But for the moment, I think this is a local party happening with a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of liquidity, as you mentioned in your opening remarks. Almost 50 to 60,000 crore rupees of fresh inflows are coming each month, and banks are actually now getting worried. Their CEOs and CFOs are pointing to a potential asset liability mismatch. They are unable to raise fixed deposits at a pace when they could maybe 3-4 years ago, and probably this problem for at least private sector banks will sort of get bigger and bigger in the coming quarters. When you look at the first quarter earnings that are now almost behind us, we are on 1st of August now. Any outstanding performances that you can highlight to our viewers in terms of be flexible with market cap? Where do you have seen momentum getting built into earnings?
I think banking, Shelji, has been a mixed bag. Some of the laggard banks which have been underperforming, have come out and really surprised the market on the positive side. Look at PNB. I think fantastic set of numbers. Fabulous asset quality improvement. Same is with Bandhan Bank. When other banks were showing pristine asset quality, Bandhan Bank was taking big write-offs. And now, when the top tier banks' asset quality has stopped improving, Bandhan Bank has shown a remarkable improvement in asset quality and performance. So I think these are interesting, stocks to look at and to keep watching for the future also, because I think the top tier bank asset quality improvement has reached its saturation point. From here on, it will be very difficult to show further improvement in asset quality. Now the game, as far as BFSI, and you touched upon that point, banking particularly, is deposit mobilization, or in more CASA, current and savings account mobilization, because that's low cost fund and that fuels the credit growth. Unless you are able to mobilize CASA, with gusto, you won't be able to grow your loan book. And if that's not happening, or if the other way is happening, loan book is growing and you're financing that through high cost deposit, then your margin gets squeezed, and that's not a good thing to happen. So yes, absolutely right. Financialization of savings has its positives and negatives. We in the market are enjoying the financialization of savings benefits because so much money is coming into the market. On the other hand, bank deposits are not growing to the extent banks would have expected, and that's a part of the game. We have to accept it.
Absolutely. The other important point that we haven't touched upon with you, we've been talking to other guests over the last 2 days, is this entire discussion about SEBI's key proposals and consultation paper with respect to the F&O speculation and curbing of that. How have you assessed the measures talked about by SEBI? What could be the larger impact on the markets if these steps are implemented, and what message goes out there for the average retail investor?
Well, a couple of things I would like to point out. One is, of course, it's a discussion paper. It will be finalized at a later date, so one doesn't know how much of this will move to the final regulation. But having said that, assuming this is what is going there, I think we had to expect something like that, because every single authority in the country, whether it's a finance minister or the RBI or SEBI, has talked about unbridled speculation by retail, where there are serious red flags which were being raised. So something was expected, and that has happened in terms of a discussion paper. I completely agree with the stand that the lot size needs to be significantly higher. The lot size were determined at a time which was much earlier, and things have moved significantly from there on. So increasing the lot size from current 5 lakh to 15-20 lakh is par for the course. I don't think we should complain about that. Now the question of restricting the weekly 1 or 2 options, whether it's 1 is good or 2 is good, expiry, changing the expiry to 1 expiry per week or 2 expiry per week. I think these all will have implications on volumes, and probably we'll see significant implication on NSE volumes. At least BSE will be less affected because they were less prominent in the FNO space. Also, I would say that current discussion paper, seeks to restrict futures to a great extent. Options haven't been that way targeted, so futures will get affected in a big way. Overall, I think there are different figures being thrown about by different experts, but I believe between 10 to 15% retail volume may get curtailed if the regulations come on line of the discussion papers.
Right. Sakshi, the next 17 minutes are going to be really, really interesting for those who paid attention to that 25,000 Nifty call, which expires on 8th of August. Reliance has started to move in the dying minutes of trade. We have it being 0.7% higher, 3,033. Just get the call back on the screen. Yes, 149. Remember, we marked it at about 143. We have about 16 minutes left in trade. Let's see whether the magic happens or not. But this is for August 8th, so nothing much to be worried about. Let's see where the markets close. One thing is for certain. Let's hope that the close for today is above 25,000. So not only will it be a record close, it will be a record close above a momentous number. Let's look at the pullers and draggers on the index. At the moment, you have Reliance clicking away merrily in the green, contributing 18 points to Nifty's uptick. HDFC Bank is contributing 22 points to its uptick, 1.26% higher. You have Power India, you have Grid, Coal India. Both of these are earnings boys, contributing 10 and 11 points respectively, and of course NTPC contributing 9 points. What's pulling the index lower? Profit booking in M&M post earnings. Infosys, a pain point there because of that perhaps unreasonable GST demand of 32,000 crore rupees. Nevertheless, the stock has not broken its back, down just 0.8%. Remember, the ADR shut 2% lower. Bit of profit booking in ICICI, SBI and L&T. So this is how the Nifty structured. Ultratech Cement days high, almost almost a percentage point higher. And now with Reliance, you have HDFC moving up. So if these two are moving up, then maybe the next 15-16 minutes are really going to be exciting for the call that we've been talking about, which is the 25,000 Nifty call, now at 152 rupees. Sakshi.
Let me reiterate for our viewers some earnings. Zomato has come out with its numbers, and we've actually seen that the company has managed to post seller set right there, 74% surge in the overall revenues for the company, which have now come in at 4,206 odd crore rupees. We've also seen the profitability on the consolidated basis jump up from just 2 crores last year same quarter to over 253 odd crore rupees. On the EBITDA level, from a loss of 48 crores, the company has reported 177 odd crore rupees of the EBITDA figure, and the margins have come in at 4.2 odd % as well. Let's get in Mr. Bandyopadhyay to talk about this new age internet space and as well as Zomato, which is now near record levels. How are you looking at Zomato and the turnaround that's underway?
I think it's a fantastic story. They realized very fast that the public markets likes profit, and the story of loss and volume doesn't work for a long time in public markets. And Zomato probably was the best case, best student of this public market. They quickly turned around the business and started making money. Also, the quick commerce business has given them a big boost, and the valuation of Zomato, I think a significant part comes from the quick commerce valuation. That's one business which has given them a big fillip. Fundamentally, I think, I believe that one of the companies in the platform companies, which I like, but hasn't been able to really produce much in terms of share market performance yet, is Delivery. I think it's a fantastic logistics company, and logistics is something which is critical for every kind of commerce. And they just have digitized and systematized this entire logistics business. At some stage, I think it will start giving them rewards, and I will like to bank on delivery at this stage, where the valuation I believe is still reasonable.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, 3:18, we have 12 minutes of trade left, and perhaps the last 15 minutes now belong to 3 or 4 counters. HDFC moving apace, 1.5% higher, 1640. Coal India, remember the earnings were tepid, just a 4% rise in first quarter profit to 10,943 crores, but the revenue was also equally muted, 1.5% higher. But look at the stock, 3.5% higher, fresh record high, 540. Ultratech has reclaimed the 12,000 mark, now about 1% higher. And of course, there is no stopping Reliance as well. These are the 3 or 4 counters which are propelling the Nifty higher. Now 25,025, 74 points higher. And that's how we have the last 10-12 minutes of trade. IDBI, this is something that we've been watching with interest, has slipped below the 100 rupee mark. This is a bit of a painful thing, 4% lower, but probably this one will also reverse shortly. Sakshi, what are you watching?
There are some more details coming in on NMDC has come out with some details on the July production, which is now lower by 11% to 2.17 million tons on a year-on-year basis. Some more additional information coming in on now TVS Motors. It's come out with its sales figures. The EV sales have surged 61% for the company to 13,306 units. The stock is buoyant at this point in time. The total sales for TVS Motors is at 3.54 lakh units. So again, on a year-on-year basis, this is definitely bump up. Let's discuss with Mr. Bandyopadhyay, how he looking at the entire auto space story that's unfolding. 2 narratives were being built up in the run-up to the sales figures and the numbers that are coming in now today. Mr. Bandyopadhyay, one was the fear of rising inventories at the dealerships. Second was heavy discounting now starting to take place, especially to bump up sales in the hybrid and the EV space as of now, and the sales figures that have come in as a mixed bag right now so far in the day. Your own sense on the auto story right now, and where are you keeping your focus, sir?
Well, I think I'm still not looking, from a market point of view at the EV space. Of course, we have the Ola IPO, and we'll keep discussing that, I'm sure, in the next few days. But as things stand today, we are still on the IC engine focused, as far as the market is concerned. And we like Bajaj. I think Bajaj is doing a fantastic job as far as domestic business is concerned. And their CNG two-wheeler launch is in the offing, and that should be again a game changer, hopefully, going forward. So Bajaj is one company which one needs to be keeping in mind. The export business also is recovering. There are some challenges still in Africa, but it's recovering nonetheless. So I think this is one stock we'll have to keep watching and keeping in the one's radar. The other company which I again would like to look at is Hero MotoCorp. I think the sales numbers were not that impressive, about 2% growth month on month. But having said that, I think with the overall news coming of rural rejuvenation, monsoon being good, I would probably bet on Hero MotoCorp as a turnaround or as far as market is concerned, a turnaround kind of a story, because it has suffered in the market for quite some time, and probably its time will come very soon. The other space which I am keenly watching is this entire tractor space, where Mahindra & Mahindra's numbers, operational efficiency and everything else was good, but the tractor numbers were not that impressive. It's still not showing that the tractor sales growth has come. We'll have to wait and watch for the monsoon period to get over to assess whether the tractor volumes are actually going up, because only when tractor volumes start really picking up, we'll see probably further uptick in Mahindra & Mahindra share prices. Maruti, on the other hand, came back with a fantastic set of numbers for the last quarter. And I think that did beat pretty much all the expectations. So efficiency is further getting fine-tuned and improved at Maruti. And for a long-term investor, Maruti definitely, even at current level, is a good buy.
$322, ladies and gentlemen. We have 8 minutes left, and there is a breakout on Zomato. 236, 2.5% higher. Series of block deals that have happened immediately. 54,000 shares, 1,50,000 shares, 1,10,000 shares. It's just now sort of getting the traction and mojo back up. Let's see Zomato's chart. I'm fairly convinced this is an all-time high. Okay, yes, it is, ladies and gentlemen. So a new chapter starts in the life of Zomato, and this time it's because of a very sharp spurt in profit after tax. Let me just again reiterate the numbers that Sakshi had pointed out. The market now taking cognizance of the company's fantastic performance. Yeah, this is where I have it. And Zomato, yes, revenue is at 4,210 crores versus 2,410 crores, so it's almost doubled. And let's look at the EBITDA. So it's moved to a profit on the operating side to about 177 crore rupees versus a loss of 48 crore rupees in the year ago quarter. And EBITDA margin is of course now positive 4.21%. Sakshi, fourth quarter profit, of course, it's now here. It's 250 crores versus 2 crores, and that's the reason, ladies and gentlemen, why you see this record high. Sakshi.
So we'll continue to look at some more numbers that are trickling in right here. I think we also have Sun Pharma numbers now coming in, but just wanted to take a view on the overall pharma space before I come up with all the numbers right there. Your sense, Mr. Bandyopadhyay, on the entire pharma story, does it have legs? One should track this. It's been an underperforming space, but is it finally coming out of its slumber?
I think a lot of good things are happening. There was a significant pricing pressure in US generics market. I think that's easing to an extent, and that is getting reflected in some of these predominantly US focused pharma companies like Sun. And I think we will keep watching this space. It's too early to say that the US pricing pressure is over, but we'll be watching this. As far as the Indian pharma space is concerned, that's a much more interesting space to be at because let's say look at Mankind Pharma. I think they acquired BSV. This acquisition was not really appreciated by the market, but I believe that long term, I think this is a fantastic space to be in. Similarly, Mankind's 95% business is in India. So India is a market which is growing at a CAGR of about 25%. So pharma companies focused in India, having significant business in India, I think are bound to do well in the near future.
Okay, got it. So that's the overall pharma space as well. Sir, you were talking about the FMCG space. You did talk about how Dabur and all of these stocks you will be looking at. What is your own sense on ITC? That's also coming back into flavor, and now ITCs will also be in focus because of the demerger, and that will be the next key trigger that all the market participants are looking forward to it. Your own sense on how ITC could be coming out with the numbers, and what should investors be looking forward here?
Sakshi, I think ITC has moved up quite a bit, and I think as far as their core tobacco business is concerned, there is significant competition from Godfrey Phillips, which is marketing the Marlboro brand, and I think that is giving the tobacco business a bit of a kind of a challenge. And remember, ITC is predominantly tobacco, and tobacco profits still constitute a significant part of ITC's overall profits. FMCG, while they have been ramping up and doing a lot of good work, I think it is still too be in a position to compete effectively with the leaders in the FMCG space. So I will wait and watch. Of course, the hotels have been doing pretty well, and at some point of time before the end of the current fiscal, the demerger will happen, and that is a good thing to happen. And of course, I mean, at this stage, ITC is gaining because of the hotels business, but a standalone hotel business with ITC holding 40% plus is a good thing to happen eventually. So I would wait and watch. I won't, recommend a buy immediately into ITC.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 minutes left to trade, and August 1 will go down as a historic day when the Nifty closed above 25,000 for the first time. Needless to say, for the last 3 days we have record closes, but it's a little bit more sweeter when it happens above a certain level, and perhaps today is this day. I think it's testing my patience, Sakshi. 25,006, 4, 2, 1. Let's hope the close is above 25,000. We've really waited for this one, and beyond this there will be a new day and a new life. But what's pulling the Nifty higher? It's HDFC Bank, it's Reliance Industries, it's stocks such as Power Grid, Coal India and NTPC. Let's do the basics in terms of record highs within the Nifty. That will tell you where the momentum is in terms of money flows, and they are the usual suspects in trade. Power Grid 361.5, 3.7% higher. Coal India 540, 3.4% higher. ONGC, NTPC. So 4 PSU companies within Nifty are at record highs, ladies and gentlemen, followed by Maruti, SBI Life and Sun Pharma. Over the period of the last 2 days, we've discussed all of these stocks in great detail. Where is the volume section as far as the NSE 100 is concerned? Okay, Adani Energy Solutions taking it away, 11% higher, 1266. The very strong acceptance of its QIP and its oversubscription point to better days ahead on this one. In terms of most active counters, of course, 3,700 crores worth of transactions done on Adani Energy Solutions. It's the top traded counter. Maruti has 2,700 crores worth of transactions done, and Adani Green, we've not marked this one actually, but this is the third most active counter on the National Stock Exchange, now followed by HDFC Bank and Zomato. So the Adani Group coming back in focus, and thank God the Nifty is closed above 25,000, up 52 points, just a minor 52 points, but it's a small step for the index, but a giant leap for all long-term investors such as Sudeep ji, who've handheld this index from less than 1,000 points.
Absolutely, Shailji. Thank you. Thank you. I think we should all congratulate each other and enjoy the day.
Absolutely. And it's a great weather to be enjoying the day thereafter after the market hours. Thank you so much, Sudeep sir, for being with us on this very special edition. It's great to be celebrating this milestone with you on air and with all our viewers as well. And hope to see you very soon back on Market Today, Business Today Television, with the hopes that we will be continuing to celebrate newer milestones on the markets. Nifty Bank 1/10% higher at 51,603, 25,004 for the Nifty. Sectorally, oil and gas, infra, financial services, FMCG, banks, pharma, these were the sectors that managed to pull themselves up into the green. Power Grid, Coal India, HDFC Bank, Dr. Reddy's, ONGC were the top movers on the Nifty. What contributed to the Nifty gains towards the fag end of the trading session? Well, you will get to see, of course, HDFC Bank is among the top movers, in fact, which contributed largely to the Nifty gains, 59 points or so. Reliance contributed 21 points. Power Grid, Coal India, NTPC also contributed to the Nifty gains, along with Maruti Suzuki right there. We'll wrap it up at that, viewers, but do stay tuned on to Business Today Television as the action unfolds, continuing even beyond the market hours for you. Stay tuned.
Rahul Gandhi has been making a case for caste census in India. But the history of caste survey has been a